want to go to Danon, the former Israeli ambassador to the United Nations. Come next month, he's going to be becoming the Israeli ambassador to the UN. Danny, always good to have you. And I'm just wondering what you made of this. Not so much the protest outside. I think your government, our government, was prepared for that. Didn't really have the man and woman power to deal with that. But it is sadly what it is. But the way Benjamin Netanyahu had to go to, obviously, President Biden, to go to Kamala Harris, to go to Donald Trump, he covered all his bases. But it was the meeting with Kamala Harris that generated the most controversy and anger on Netanyahu's part. Much being said that some of the stuff that she claimed in a public press remark after that one-on-one, she never said to him in that one-on-one. What do you make of that?
First, if you look at the visit, it was a very successful visit of Prime Minister Netanyahu, a very powerful speech in the House, and the meeting with the President, the Vice President, and President Trump. And I think it was very important. It wasn't easy for the Prime Minister to leave Israel once we are at war. We are thankful for the support of the US. We don't agree about everything. It's legitimate. But I think one need to understand that what's happening here in the US is different than the calendar in Israel. You are very busy about the election cycle, who will be elected, but Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, they are not waiting to November or to the new president to step in January. We have to take actions today and now, and I think that message was delivered very clearly by the Prime Minister.
This is one of those rare times, though, Ambassador, where Benjamin Netanyahu took issue with a top U.S. official to say her remarks, in this case Kamala Harris's, were essentially detrimental to this process and securing what seemed to be an agreed-to deal with Hamas to release hostages. I'm sort of paraphrasing to get to the point here, but was it that bad?
Well, I think the main problem is Hamas. They are not rational actors. They are playing with the negotiators, even the US and Egypt and other players trying to break a deal, but it's not happening because of their actions. So I wouldn't give credit to anyone else for the delays. We know that Hamas, they don't want a real deal. They don't care about the suffering of the hostages or the suffering of the people in Gaza. And we have to be strong. We have to continue with the war efforts, and we rely on the support of the US. We need the US to stand with Israel. You know, when you have a strong ally, you need them in a time of war. And now we're under attack for so many fronts. We need the US to stand with us unequivocally.
Well, we haven't been standing with you as strongly as we have in the past. You've been second-guessed on your military strategy, and it seems to be a continuation with Kamala Harris. Does that worry you?
Well, we spoke a lot about this issue in the past, Neil, that we have to take the decisions ourselves, even if it means that sometimes we don't agree with our strongest ally. And when you look at history, when we attacked the nuclear reactor in Iraq, you know, the US condemned us. Back then it was President Reagan,
yes,
who was a friend of Israel, many other occasions. So at the end of the day, we know better the Middle East. We know better the enemies, and we know how to deal with them. But like Prime Minister Netanyahu said, our victory will be your victory. So even if you don't agree, the US, about everything that we are doing or the timing of our actions, you have to look at the broad picture and understand that we have no choice. We have to defeat Hamas, bring the hostages, because otherwise we're going to talk in 3 or 4 years, they will come again after us. We cannot allow it.
Well, your government has made it very, very clear that that's your position. That could take years. You've heard Donald Trump say, and he echoed it again with Benjamin Netanyahu in Mar-a-Lago, that this has got to wrap up quickly. If he became president, he would make sure that it did wrap up quickly, but it can't wrap up quickly as things stand now. I think you've talked in terms of years. So is that what we're looking at? And do you expect any better treatment from a potential Trump administration than you would get from a Kamala Harris administration?
Well, I think every president will understand that it's complex. You know, it's not going in and out. When the U.S. went after what happened after 9/11, you know, it took you a long time to find Osama bin Laden. It will take us, I hope, shorter to kill Sinwar and the other leaders of Hamas. But also when you hear about the pressure to finish fast, there is a contradiction, because you cannot finish fast when you're actually chasing a terror organization who is hiding behind civilians. So we want to minimize civilian casualties. That's why we operate very slowly. We take the time. We make the distinction between terrorists and civilians. We cannot finish it fast, unfortunately. So the US and our allies will have to be patient, and we expect them to stand with us, even if it takes longer.
All right, we'll watch it very closely. Ambassador, thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.